Imagine you are sitting in a perfectly comfortable room. The temperature is ideal. You are not hungry, not thirsty, not in any pain. Nothing is threatening you. Nothing demands your attention. You have nowhere to be and nothing you need to do. Now sit there for an hour with nothing but your thoughts. Most people cannot do it. Not because they lack willpower, not because they are weak, but because the human brain was never built for this kind of emptiness. And the proof of that is the feeling you get the moment you try. That feeling is boredom, and it belongs entirely to you. No other creature on this planet experiences it the way you do. Not because animals are simpler or lesser, but because their brains are not running the same software yours is. And understanding what that software actually does changes everything about how you see yourself. Let's start with what boredom is not. It is not laziness. It is not ingratitude. It is not a character flaw that disciplined people overcome. Boredom is a neurological state, specific, measurable, and consistent across every human culture ever studied. In 2012, researcher John Eastwood at York University published a paper that redefined how scientists understand it. He found that boredom is not the absence of things to do. It is a failure of attention. Your brain is trying to engage, actively, urgently, and cannot find a worthy target. The searching is real, the frustration is real, but the target does not exist. This is fundamentally different from every other animal on the planet. A cat waiting for a mouse is not bored. It is in a state of focused, patient readiness, attention fully locked on a specific purpose. A wolf resting between hunts is not bored. Its nervous system is recovering. The loop has closed. Rest is the reward. Your brain does not close loops like that. Approximately 2 to 3 million years ago, the human prefrontal cortex began an expansion unlike anything evolution had produced before. Generation after generation, it grew larger, more complex, more deeply connected to every other region of the brain. And as it grew, it gave your ancestors something no creature had ever possessed, the ability to simulate futures that did not exist yet. Suddenly, your ancestors could imagine next winter before it arrived. They could picture a predator that was not currently visible and plan a response. They could invent a problem, solve it mentally, and store the solution, all without the problem ever actually occurring. This is called prospective cognition, and it is so metabolically expensive that your brain devotes enormous resources to running it continuously, even when you are doing nothing. Especially when you are doing nothing. The prefrontal cortex does not know how to be idle. It is always simulating, always comparing the current moment to potential futures, always asking, is this the best possible use of me right now? Is there something more important I should be doing? When the answer is yes, when the task in front of you is too simple, too repetitive, too disconnected from anything meaningful, the system registers a mismatch, a kind of cognitive friction. That friction is what you feel as boredom. It is your most sophisticated brain region telling you that your situation is beneath your capacity. Researcher Sandy Mann at the University of Central Lancashire spent years studying what this state actually does to the human mind. What she found surprised the scientific community. Boredom, genuine, sustained boredom, reliably increases creativity. Participants who completed long, repetitive tasks before a creative challenge consistently produced more original ideas than those who had been engaged beforehand. The reason is a brain network called the default mode network. When your conscious attention has nothing to anchor to, a different system activates. It is quieter than focused thought, less linear, less directed. Brain regions that rarely communicate during active tasks begin exchanging signals. Memories connect to future simulations. Unrelated ideas brush against each other. Patterns emerge from material that never had the chance to recombine. This is where insight comes from. This is the substrate of imagination. And modern life is systematically destroying access to it. Your smartphone was engineered by some of the most talented behavioral scientists in human history with one measurable goal: to prevent your attention from resting. Every notification, every infinite scroll, every autoplay mechanism is calibrated to intercept the default mode network before it can fully activate. The moment boredom begins generating something useful, a screen fills the gap with something easier. In 2014, psychologist Timothy Wilson at the University of Virginia ran what became one of the most discussed psychology experiments of the decade. He placed participants alone in a room for 15 minutes with nothing to do. No phone, no books, just their own minds. The majority found it deeply unpleasant, but the most striking result came when Wilson offered a button that would deliver a mild electric shock, simply to provide something to happen. A significant number of participants chose to press it. Repeatedly, they chose pain over the emptiness of their own unoccupied thoughts. The most complex object in the known universe finds its own company so intolerable that it will seek out physical discomfort as an alternative. You were never designed to be safe and unchallenged at the same time. Researcher Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi spent decades mapping the conditions under which human beings feel most fully alive. He called the optimal state flow, that feeling of complete absorption where time dissolves and effort becomes effortless. He found that flow requires precise calibration between challenge and skill. When challenge falls significantly below your skill level, the result is not rest, it is boredom. Your brain at full capacity with no appropriate outlet for that capacity. Darwin wrote in his private journals about extended periods of agonizing mental emptiness before his most significant ideas emerged. Edison described boredom as pressure that built until it had to release somewhere. Einstein said his best thinking happened not at his desk, but in the in-between moments, the walks, the silences, the stretches of nothing. The pattern repeats across virtually every major breakthrough in recorded history. Boredom is not the enemy of great thinking, it is the precondition for it. Your ancestors understood this without knowing the neuroscience. In the long idle stretches between hunts, between seasons, between threats, they built things. They sharpened tools for hunts that had not happened yet. They painted animals on cave walls for reasons that had nothing to do with immediate survival. They told stories about futures that might never come. They asked questions about skies they would never fully understand. Every civilization humans have ever built traces back to a bored brain that refused to accept that the present moment was enough. So when you feel that restless, crawling discomfort, the one that sends your hand reaching for your phone before you have even consciously decided to move, you are not experiencing a malfunction. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not failing at rest. You are experiencing the thing that makes you human. The question is not how to silence it. The question is what happens when you finally let it speak. If this changed the way you see your own mind, that is exactly what Evren is for. New video every week. Subscribe and we will see you in the next one.